welcome to the Weekly Bark. My name is Jesse Moss, and I am your host. And so this is a brand new podcast that I'm starting out, coming out of this, what are we in, 2022 post-pandemic, heading into endemic world. And over the last couple of years, I've been thinking about a lot of different things and trying to get my priorities kind of realigned and kind of just been contemplative, a lot of like meditation on what my life has been up to this point and where it's going in the future. And as we've kind of looked at our own mortality over the last couple of months and actually years now, I've kind of come to some conclusions that maybe some things that I was doing and weren't nearly as important as they should have been and priorities. And so this is going to be basically a podcast. It's going to be a thought experiment. It's going to talk about teaching and life and the world and finding meaning and meaningless and art and music and I don't know, anything else that kind of pops into my brain that I'm interested in and love to talk about. It reminded me as we were sitting in lockdown that this idea of hiding from COVID and hiding from the things that were going on in our homes as we were locked down. And I remember there's this biblical verse from the book of Ecclesiastes that said, "But whoever is joined with the living has hope, for a living dog is better than a dead lion." And that's exactly what I am. I'm a living dog. I've never done anything great and lionesque, if you will, but I am a living dog. I have a bark, and this is my weekly bark. And a lot of it's just going to be me getting inside my own head and talking about the things that I've been thinking about. The other day on Instagram, I saw a meme, and it was a quote from Mark Twain, and it said something to the effect that the fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time. And while I can quibble with that to some degree, I like the general concept of this idea is that we can't be afraid to live our life, because if we are so cautious in everything that we do, eventually our life will slip by us and there will be nothing left of it. And so in this podcast, I want to just kind of explore some of those ideas. I want to get out and take a look at where we're going in the world, and each week we'll kind of discuss those things. It reminds me of this, actually, when I was a kid. My dad is a very intellectual guy and would love to talk, with anybody who would listen to him, really, but would love to kind of debate and explore ideas. And I remember him and my uncle, primarily, but it wasn't just them, it was other family members as well. They would sit at the coffee table when they came for a visit, and they would just wax philosophical for hours about everything under the sun, politics, art, war, the world, political philosophy, religious philosophy, and all this sort of stuff. And I think, and my dad never did finish his degree, but I think when he was going, he got an associate's degree. And I remember he took a ton of philosophy classes. I think that's really where his strong suit was. And he would have been a philosopher had he continued down that path, but things went differently for him and he went down a different path. But he's still a philosopher. He's just not like an academic philosopher, if you will. And I remember I couldn't wait I would just listen in awe as they would just talk about all these really cool things and play these sort of mental gymnastics in their brain. And that was something I always kind of loved. And I couldn't wait till I got old enough to where I could participate in these conversations and get my seat at the table. And so that's what this podcast is going to be all about, is just kind of waxing philosophical about all the cool things that come up and that I think about, and I hope that you kind of want to come along that journey. Anyway, so that's basically the podcast is in a nutshell, and I'm super excited about doing it. This is such a force for me to get out of my comfort zone. It's so easy to kind of be locked in my own little head and thoughts and world, and I'm really excited to see where this goes as we keep going forward. It's been something that's been on my mind for a while, and opportunities have been presented themselves. And so I'm super stoked about it. Hope you are too. And I can't wait to see where this journey leads us. So jump on, be part of the fam here at the Weekly Bark, and then we'll see where we head out. All right, take care. See you next time.